I'm going to be showing you a few things, the way that I do things, and I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible. If you have any questions, absolutely go ahead and ask. Just comment underneath the video and I'll respond as soon as I can. But I'll show you the basics and try to give you a few tools to help you, grow with your abilities in Blender. So first off, we have the splash screen here. This mainly just shows you the Blender version that you're using. You can click it or around it to get rid of it. This right here is our 3D viewport. It's where we're going to be doing all of our work here for this tutorial. This cube is what we're going to be editing. It's the default thing that pops up as soon as you open Blender, so pretty convenient. Using your middle mouse button here, just clicking it, moving the mouse, you can rotate the scene. This doesn't affect the cube at all, but it's really convenient in that you can see all angles of the cube. This orange outline around the cube tells you that it's selected. So we'll press A to deselect everything and right click the cube again to select it. We're going to go edit it, so we're going to go down to where it says object mode and change it to edit mode. Here in edit mode, there are a few different things that are key to editing. One of them being the select modes. The first select mode is the vertex select. It's where you can select individual vertices. The second is the edge select for lines. The third is face. Over here just to the right of that, there's a transparency button. It enables transparency on the mesh, in this case the cube, and allows you to edit in behind where you'd normally be able to. We're going to leave it unticked for this tutorial though. Let's add some geometry to our mesh. A little more to play with. There are a few different ways that I want to show you to add geometry to your mesh. Just quick, simple ways. The first is by pressing CTRL R, which add rings. So these pink rings divide the mesh in sections. You can run your mouse around the mesh to try to get a feel for how it works. Scrolling up on the middle mouse button adds more rings. Left clicking sets it, and you can set it again where you'd like, where you can right click to auto center it. And press CTRL Z to undo that. The second way is by using the knife tool. So you press K for the knife. Here you left click wherever you'd like, different places. And you press Spacebar to set it. This is really handy for character creation. It's really concise and you can pretty much paint a picture onto whatever you'd like. So we'll undo that as well. The third way, which is what we're going to use for this tutorial, you can just press A to unselect everything and A again to select every face of the cube. And we'll press Spacebar to pop up the search. Just type SUB for subdivide and click subdivide. Now what subdivide does, as you can see, is it cuts it all into even pieces. This can come in handy for a lot of things. So here I'll show you a way to select more than one vertex at once. Just right click one and then hold down Shift and click any manner. You can unselect each one individually in the process that you selected them by pressing CTRL Z. So that's absolutely vital. Another thing that you can do with the Shift, so you can just click with the faces or the lines. Really handy stuff. Another little tidbit here. So you can right click and then hold Control and click at a different point, and it'll do its best to map out every point in between. It's great stuff. So unselect everything here. Go into face mode, click a random face, and we'll press E to extrude it. Now extruding is pretty great for a lot of things. I usually use it with edge mode for when I'm mapping out different characters. I like doing that flat and I'll show you that in a different tutorial. But for now, we'll just pop it out any which way. Alright, 3 more tools for you. The first is the translate, which you can get to by using G on your keyboard. What that does is it just pulls the face or the vertex, depending on what you're selecting, and puts it in whichever direction you point your mouse. Pretty handy stuff. And you can set that to an individual axis by clicking the middle mouse button. And you just do that in whichever direction, and it'll follow that axis. You can right click to set it back to where it was. The second is rotate, which you can get to by pressing the R key. Basically, you'll just rotate it in whichever direction you point, and you can do the same thing as you did with the translate and middle click to set it on an axis. Handy stuff. The third is scale, which is with the S key. Honestly, I use this one the most. Alternatively, you can go down here to the left of the select modes, and you can use these short little dealios here to do the same thing. And I use these when I'm mainly messing around and eventually get into the shortcuts because it's less time consuming. But they work the same way. This guy here is called the axis manipulator. The blue arrow represents the z-axis, the red the x-axis, and the green is the y-axis. That's it for the first tutorial. Subscribe to my channel to see the next tutorial as soon as it comes out, which should be very soon. And the shortcuts I used in the video are below the description, so you don't have to watch the whole video again to see them. Catch you on the next video.